Hey y'all, I'm back again with another Pokemon Challenge video. Pokemon Red with only Execute was really fun, so this time I wanted to use another egg-based Safari Zone Pokemon. Can I beat Pokemon Red using only one Chansey? As usual, the rules are I can only use Chansey in battle and I can't use any items in battle. By the way, if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and check out more of the videos on my channel. Chansey is such a strange Pokemon. It has the worst attack and defense stats in the entire game, but that's where the bad news ends. Chansey has 250 base HP. That's more than the combined stat total of most of the Pokemon we use in these runs. On top of that, Chansey has 105 special, which is not only one of the best in the game, it means that Chansey is one of the strongest special attackers and bulkiest special walls in the game. And look at that TM move pool. Off of Professor Oak's lab, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Bulbasaur with Chansey so that our rival will pick Charmander. By the end of the game, the rival's Charizard will know Slash, which always crits and is a physical move, to prey upon Chansey's awful defense stat. So we're probably going to crack a couple eggs on this one. Chansey is an endangered Safari Zone Pokemon based on eggs, so I nicknamed my Chansey Poached Eggs. Chansey starts off with only Pound and Double Slap. So there's not a lot of variety here, and there really isn't all that much to write home about in terms of Chansey's level up moveset. For now, even with the bad defense, Chansey's HP stat is so beefy that the rival isn't much of a problem at all, but there's real trouble in our immediate future. My previous trauma with Execute has prepared me for this day, but there's no beating around the bush here. Chansey is almost as bad as Execute for the Brock battle, although it's not exactly an eggs-to-eggs comparison. Chansey's attack is much worse, but Pound and Double Slap are much better than Barrage, so we're able to win this one at a slightly lower level than Execute. Chansey won't learn another move until Sing at level 24, and I wasn't expecting to win this battle until then, but I kept trying and eventually Chansey pulled through, saving me from leveling up even more against Kakunas in Viridian Forest. When I say this battle wasn't exactly an eggs-to-eggs comparison, I mean it. Remember that Execute was in the slow level up group, but Chansey is in the fast level up group. So, where it took Execute 19,531 experience to reach level 25, Chansey won at level 21, which only took 7,408 experience. So this one seems a lot worse than it actually was. Don't get me wrong though, I still hate having to grind against Kakunas, and it still took several hours, but this was nowhere near the Lord of the Rings Director's Cut box set length it took for Execute. I get to Cerulean City and take on the rival Bubs, and I tried to win this one without using Sing, but you can see how much damage we take from the Pidgeotto because our defense stat is so awful. What is even more annoying is that the stupid bird loves to spam Sand Attack to lower our accuracy, making this battle even worse. By the time I get to Charmander, Chansey only has 8 HP left, so it's time to use Sing, regardless of how I feel about it. Although, in hindsight, this battle would have been a lot easier if I had just taught Chansey Mega Punch that we picked up in Mount Moon. So after beating Bubs, I taught Mega Punch to Chansey and head to take on the Cerulean City Gym, and, well, it's a pretty strong move on its own, but Chansey's attack is so bad that we don't do much damage. However, Chansey is still way too bulky in terms of special, so her water-type attacks, which normally are a huge problem in these runs, do insanely pitiful amounts of damage, and we win this one pretty easily. Aboard the SSN, we take on the rival Bubs once again. Misty gave us the TM for Bubble Beam, which I immediately taught to Chansey. Even though Bubble Beam doesn't get a same type attack boost like Mega Punch, Chansey's special is so good that Bubble Beam OHKOs a lot of the Pokemon in the game that used to be 4 KOs. Bubs' team, which gave Chansey trouble before, doesn't stand a chance here, even though his Pokemon have all evolved. Lieutenant Surge is the Pokemon trainer who made me realize that most of the gym leaders in this game use types that are special, so Chansey should do really well against most of them. Surge himself is a non-issue. Bubble Beam makes quick work of his whole team, and not to make too many egg puns, but this battle was over easy. After passing through Rock Tunnel in the dark, I take on rival Bubs in Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town. I taught the TM for Thunderbolt we got from Lieutenant Surge to Chansey, and with the combination of Bubble Beam and Thunderbolt, there are a lot of Pokemon we can hit for super effective damage. Bubs' Pokemon don't stand much of a chance. In fact, his most difficult Pokemon for us to take down is his Execute, but he's not even using the Toxic and Leech Seed combo, so clearly he has no idea what he's doing, and unlike us, he's a total noob. I head to Celadon City, but before taking on the Grass Gym leader Erica, I wanted a few more levels, so I make a quick detour to beat up Giovanni in the Rocket Game Corner hideout. Bubble Beam wallops his Rhyhorn and his Onix, and Kangaskhan barely survives a Thunderbolt. And then, Comet Punch does chain 3 critical hits for a lot of damage, but even so, Chansey remains victorious. It's at this point I take on Erica, but first I taught Chansey the TM for Ice Beam. Thunderbolt and Ice Beam is one of the best attack combinations in all of Pokemon, even to this day, so I'm glad to have it. Ice Beam makes short work of her team, and we move right along. Next up is the Poison Gym leader Koga in Fuchsia City, and this battle would have been an Oko Fiesta had I taught Chansey Psychic. But at this point in the run, I wasn't sure which of my other moves I could delete, since I know I'll need Ice Beam and Thunderbolt for later in the game. So I tried this with my current moves and ended up winning anyways, which is good because I would hate to teach a TM just to make one battle easier. While getting Surf from the Safari Zone, I unexpectedly ran into a wild Chansey. After knocking out ninjas, I head to the Sylph Company building to rock some rockets, and I take on the rival Bubs once again. All of his Pokemon go down in a single hit except for one, Alakazam. Its special is so good that it can actually take 2 to 3 attacks from Chansey. Even worse, it spams recover to heal itself, and it can do this indefinitely, since opposing trainers don't have PP in this game. So, we sing that bastard a lullaby and knock it out that way. You'll see Alakazams continue to be a bit of an issue throughout this run. Giovanni is up next, and he's not even really worth mentioning. Chansey is just too strong for his team of low special Pokemon to handle. Chansey's special is so dang high, it makes this middle part of the game super easy, and I haven't even talked about one of Chansey's best moves in Defense Curl. But I haven't needed to use that yet, so more on that later. At the end of the battle we hit level 48, and I don't have Chansey learn Light Screen, because that's a terrible move. Blaine is up next, and he's not hard at all, mostly because he keeps using fire moves, which are special, so they hardly do any damage. You might notice that in both this and the last battle, Chansey reaches level 48, and that's because I actually lost the footage for this part of the game. That's right, I replayed the entire game up to the Elite Four, including the Brock battle, just to have complete footage for the video, so don't say I never did anything for you. The Sabrina battle is the perfect time to talk about Defense Curl. I specifically beat Blaine first so we would get the Volcano badge, which boosts our special stat. If you're a fan of this channel, you already know what's next. We're using the badge boost mechanics. Kadabra is best knocked out right away, but Mr. Mime is perfect for setting up badge boosts. I use 6 defense curls, which boosts defense, but also each time we modify our stats, the badge boosts for each stat are reapplied. So, 6 defense curls boost our special stat high enough that Sabrina's specially defensive Pokemon are a lot easier to handle. Otherwise, Alakazam would try to put us into an infinite recover loop like always. Both times I played through this run with Chansey, Giovanni was a total joke. Ice Beam wrecks his entire team and there's not much to say about it. Dugtrio is the only Pokemon to really worry about since it's faster and has a high chance to critical hit Dig, but it wastes its only turn going for a guard spec, so maybe Giovanni is actually coded to be awful. Who knows? The rival fight with Bubs here is the first time since Brock that the game actually poses a real challenge for Chansey. Pidgeot goes down right away to Ice Beam, and I'm able to set badge boosts by using Defense Curl against the Rhyhorn, and then everything goes down in one hit until we level up right before the Alakazam. Because remember, leveling up resets any additional badge boost that we get from having our stats modified. We waste a bunch of time against Alakazam spamming recover, and then Charizard comes out and actually almost takes Chansey out with an unexpected critical hit Flamethrower. Bubs almost scrambled our eggs here, and this is the end of the footage from my second run-through of the game. Well, here are the stats going into the Elite Four. Chansey is on par with Tauros in terms of move pool and raw power. In fact, Chansey has the same special as Tauros has attack. They're like opposite sides of the same coin. First up is Lorelei, and for once she's really not that difficult. Thunderbolt is super effective against her entire team besides Jinx. I hit Dugong with a Thunderbolt, knowing it will go for rest, so I immediately start badge boosting our special by using Defense Curl while Dugong is asleep. Thunderbolt does great damage to our entire team, but unfortunately badge boosting can only get us so far because Chansey will always level up during these battles because it's in that fast level up category, meaning we lose our badge boost. Then again, our special is so good that the only way we ever lose is by getting frozen. Next up is Bruno, and for once, he's actually a threat, being the only Elite Four member that can consistently OHKO our Chansey. And for most of this run, Defense Curl was just icing on the cake, being used to badge boost special when we really didn't need it, but here, it's mandatory. You can see Onyx did a ton of damage to us, and without the defense boost, Machamp can OHKO Chansey with submission. Surprisingly though, because of our multiple defense boosts, Bruno's AI always goes for Leer, which is weird, but I'll take it. I think the game thinks that lowering our defense is smart because we have defense boosts, but he'd be better off just going for a critical hit anyways. Agatha's up next, and for once, her biggest threats are Arbok and Golbat just because they have physical attacks. Nightshade for once isn't a big deal because our HP compared to her level is so high. Her last Gengar does no Toxic, which could actually pose a problem given enough turns of Chansey hitting itself in confusion, but that doesn't happen here, and we even freeze her last Gengar to boot. Plus, Agatha spends so many turns switching her Pokemon in and out that Chansey gets plenty of free hits. You know it's a strange run when Bruno's the threat and Agatha is trivial. Well, after Agatha, it's time to take on the last Elite Four member, Lance, and it should be no surprise to anyone that Chansey completely dominates his team. All of his Pokemon are weak to either Electric or Ice, so Thunderbolt and Ice Beam do the finest of work here. I knock out his Gyarados right away with Thunderbolt, and then set up 3 Defense Curls against his first Dragonair, just to help survive a Hyper Beam from Aerodactyl, you know, just in case. But really, none of this matters here, because Chansey is just too powerful, and we dunk on his entire team in record fashion. Finally, it's time to take on the champion, our rival Bubs, and this one is a pretty unique champion fight, not because of anything he does, but instead because I actually did this battle using 2 different strategies. For the first battle, we go in guns blazing. I use Badge Boost during this battle, but I don't use a rare candy to reset our experience first, and that's because Chansey, being in the fast level up group, means it's going to level up no matter what. You can actually see we level up twice in this battle. Pidgeot goes down in 1 Ice Beam, Alakazam isn't an issue as long as it doesn't drop our special stat, and Rhydon is the perfect Pokemon to Badge Boost against, especially when it gives us additional Badge Boosts by lowering our defense, which lets us use even more Defense Curls, and thus it's the circle of Badge Boosts. We level up before Charizard, which does reset our speed stat, and it actually could have knocked us out with Slash, but Charizard uses every single move in its arsenal besides Slash, letting us take it out to win the battle with relative ease. But it's not quite over yet. I'm so used to seeing Chansey used as a stall Pokemon that I thought I'd try this battle again, but this time only using indirect damage and stalling moves. Now we've got Substitute, Toxic, Soft Boiled, and Defense Curl, so this is definitely the trolliest strategy I've ever used in one of these challenges, but it's more like how you would see Chansey nowadays. Toxic doubles the damage it deals every turn, and the combination of Substitute and Soft Boiled allows us to take hits and heal while stalling as many turns as possible for Toxic damage. This makes easy work of Bubs' entire team, until we get to the Charizard. Slash does huge damage by ignoring our defense boost, and then Bubs makes 2 fatal errors. First, he uses Fire Spin, which does immobilize Chansey, but also does next to no damage while simultaneously racking up Toxic turns. And then, rather than going for Slash to actually win, he literally throws the battle by going for Rage. And with that, the challenge is over. I'm genuinely impressed with just how strong Chansey was. It was so cool to see it work as an offensive powerhouse when most people know it as a purely defensive Pokemon. And it was truly not what I was expecting. Well God, well as always, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. These videos are a ton of fun, but also a lot of work, so I really do appreciate it. There's a playlist on my channel where you can find the rest of my Pokemon Challenge videos if you want to check those out as well. If you like this kind of content and you're excited for more, subscribe and enable notifications so you'll know right away the next time one of these episodes is uploaded, and there'll be plenty of awful puns for you to check out, I'm sure. Let me know in the comments what other Pokemon you want to see, and I'll probably do it. Continuing with the theme of Safari Zone Pokemon that I never got to use as a child, next up is beating Pokemon Red using only 1 Dratini. I took a peek ahead, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of the worst challenges we've ever done. Anyways, until next time,